is going on? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? I traveled far to be with you, then you leave me, girl. That's not cool. I never thought that this could happen. What the hell is going on? 'Cause I love you, I need you. Said I see you moving on the dance floor. I never thought that this could happen. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on, baby? Tell me what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? 'Cause there was a time you were here with me, girl. All things were fine, lost and happily, baby. Then you decide that you're not gonna be mine. Well, I lost my mind. This life is not for me. 'Cause I love you, I need you. Said I see you grooving on the dance floor. I never thought that this could happen. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Yeah. What the hell is going on? Tell me what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on, baby? What the hell is going on?
Jesus Lord.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Welcome to Call in America. Ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing out there?
Can you turn up my mic?
Yeah, I'll turn your mic. You know what? Why don't you go ahead and that needs to be adjusted. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Lord have mercy. Hold on. Right there, it's perfect. Well, if you want the show to be about me, and boom, it's perfect. What is up? What is up, guys? My name is Kelvin. My husband's Taylor West. He left the stream. So, Call in America is we are live, guys, and it's a good night. I'm just gonna scoot over. We got a lot to talk about, man. There's a lot happening in the country, in the world today, especially here in America, and we really just truly want to we want to have some real dialogue tonight, guys. We want to have some real dialogue tonight about the courage of racism. Welcome back, Taylor. How you doing?
It's a good day to be alive.
It's a good hell. If you're black, any day is a good day to be alive. But there it is. That was the whole delay, ladies and gentlemen. It is called America. We need our phone. All right, we need our phone. So once again, welcome to the show. I'm Kelvin.
I'm Taylor.
And we are Calling America. There we go. That's the official start of Calling America. And
you can edit that out, right?
No, we're not going to edit out anything because we like to do things. I like to keep it raw. So, guys, what's up, Tay?
Well, there's been a lot of activity this week, right? And
there has been a ton of activity this week.
And the activity is kind of becoming the weekly norm, unfortunately. It is constantly happening.
It truly is. It truly is. It's like we can't. You know what we need is we need one of those. I'm kind of like OCD about this, and I bump the camera. And I like for us to be center. But you know what's
correction? He likes him to be center.
No, don't do that. So you know what's interesting is that what we need is we need one of those things that it says days since last accident or something like that. And it's terrible to even say that, it's even have that dialogue, but it's like, it's so true, is that we need, can we just go a week? Can we go a month without having another Black person killed? But let's get right to the show. We've got some wonderful guests. We searched for an all-female guest host list tonight, and I think we achieved that.
Asking you shall receive.
Asking you shall receive. We got two very powerful women. One of them, I believe, is having some difficulty with the camera, so hopefully we're going to be able to get her on. But we've got Sacha Elie, who is an amazing actress and writer, and just an amazing person that's going to be coming on. She's actually going to be with us virtually from New Orleans. God, I hope I got that right. She's going to correct me if that's wrong. She's already looking at me.
Louisiana?
No, I think it's New Orleans. I know it's New Orleans. And then we have
is it New Orleans in Louisiana?
Oh gosh, she's going to correct us. We're going to bring her on in just a minute. Okay, so she's going to tell us all the details for where she's from.
We're not good with geography,
but I knew her from college, and then we have another person, Miss Tamara Smith, aka Aurora Borealis. Hopefully, we can get her stream to come through. But she's just a wonderful, another powerful Black woman from who's out in Atlanta, Georgia, right now. So we've got some dynamics tonight, guys. We've got some dynamics. We got some people who are ready to weigh in. What are the topics?
So we're talking about Dijon Kizzee, right? Out of LA.
Yep.
He was
biking while Black.
Yep.
Biking while, sorry to cut you off, but it's just so shocking.
And the stories that are coming out about it. So there's if you read the police report, it's one story. If you talk to Kizzee's lawyer, it's a different story. Then if you talk to two women that saw it happen, it's two different stories.
It's another story. And what's interesting is that they don't have body cameras in LA. They don't. The police officers don't have body cameras in LA, so that to me is just it's a setup to fail, and it's really bothersome. But what else? Who else?
And honestly, those cameras should be like going live at all times, like accountability.
At this rate, I mean, we need them live like when the officers are home, as far as I'm concerned. But who else are we talking about tonight?
Daniel Pride out of that happened back in March. However, all the videos coming out and the investigation and what they're figuring out about it, and it's
this one's sad to me. This one like and there's just so many names, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's like the young kid who was just listening to music on his headphones. He was and he was murdered by cops after he was coming walking down the street from the store. He was getting some stuff for his family, and cops.
And he did have a mental illness.
It's the most recent one. So. Yeah.
But he was killed because
naked. The man was killed naked, handcuffed, and with a spit guard on his head. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into that, and then we do want to shout out. What is Chadwick Bob? I keep messing this name up. Sasha's going to get me for that too. We both were actors back in our day. Well, I was an actor back in my day, but she's like all about it. And she actually did I keep talking about her. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the rules to call in America. When the phone lines are open, you'll see the number on the screen. That means it's your time to call in. When you call in, you got about a minute or so to speak your truth. Okay. You can either tell us what's on your mind. You can ask one of us a question, including our guest host, and then that'll be your time. Please be respectful. This is not. We get it. If you're out there and you want to call in and be asked, we can also block. I mean, it's very, very simple. This show is about dialogue. It's about coming together and finding solutions. Your opinion is not right. It is yours. Okay, and that's just the. You can have your opinion, and that's good. And that's neat.
We welcome all opinions.
We welcome all opinions. What we don't welcome is hate and just
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that too.
I absolutely am going to talk about that. I want to bring Sacha on before we talk about that. Last thing, though, we got quite a few. If you're watching the show right now, please share the stream. That is what we ask that you do. It's your way of helping us spread the opportunity for people to weigh in and to speak the truth and to have true dialogue about what's happening in America. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring a fabulous, amazing actress, writer. She said she's going to wear a ball gown tonight. Let's see how she did. Let's bring on Sacha Elie to the stream.
My bomber gown.
Yeah. You said a bomber gown.
Just my dude. Remember the good old days?
Hey, okay. Sacha, what is up? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Call in America.
Thank you for having me. Okay, but New Orleans, Louisiana.
Break it down. Go ahead.
No, seriously, thanks for having me, guys. But yes, it is New Orleans is in Louisiana, so you
know
can get that, Taylor. Hi, Taylor.
Hi. What is it like in Louisiana? I haven't talked to you in quite some time. What's the COVID-19 and everything that's going on in the world? What's it like? What's it like being a black woman in Louisiana?
Too? What's it like being a black woman, not only in America but in Louisiana? Weigh in, girl. Like, speak your truth. You know the topics that we're talking about. Tell us everything. Just speak your truth. Okay, what's up? How you feel?
Like, how long do you want me to talk for? Because we can run.
You speak the truth, and when we come back, that's your time to talk.
I mean, I've been living in Louisiana for about a year, so it's been interesting. You know, there have been some things prior to COVID that's happened that has reminded me, oh yeah, I'm definitely in the South. You know, I work in the arts, and you know, I've had very rich old white men talk about the nostalgia of slavery and how, you know, there's a hidden story about slavery that they don't tell you about, that a lot of slaves liked, you know, wanted to come home after the Civil War, things like that. I mean, gosh, I honestly don't even know where to start, but it's been interesting being in the South. And seeing how politicized like simple things like wearing a mask has become. I don't know. I mean, ask me. I kind of don't know where to start. I don't know where to start.
That's, you know, honey, the thing about it is that, you know, being black in America is it's just so hard sometimes just to be, right? Would you agree with that? Like, you know, you're always on. Right. You always have to play a role, play a part. If you're going out there and you're dealing with white people, one of the things that I have come across or heard before was that, you know, there was this meme that said, you know, for white people, have you ever walked in, you know, left the house and walked into a situation and was like, I hope that this person, you know, walked into an interview or walked into anywhere and said, I hope that, you know, the person that I'm dealing with is not racist, right? I hope that I get a fair chance in this interview. You know, have you ever felt that, like, as a black woman in America?
I mean, can I just say, first of all, that I don't, well, thank you for having Black women on this show tonight, because I honestly have been, you know, I mean, I just feel in general invisible as a Black woman. I feel like something just happened to me like the other day where, you know, I mean, I've always felt invisible, unprotected. I feel like there's not enough, like you don't really hear enough from Black women, particularly in this moment in time. You know, I do feel like, and one of the reasons why I also decided to cut myself off from a lot of like social media and just television, I still do try to keep myself informed, but I'm just tired of people telling me how I should feel or what they think I feel, right? And so I don't think there are enough platforms that really highlight Black women's, and with that said, like all the different facets and sides and experiences that Black women make up. So I do think we're like an invisible voice. We're like 1%. But I feel like I forgot how to answer your question.
I just, Tay, what are your thoughts about that? You know, weigh in on your, you know, what do you think?
Well, out in Louisiana, I had a question of, are there protests happening? Like you're in the South, like, and what are those protests? Because protests can go both ways, right? Like you can have peaceful protest, or you can have white protest as well. Like, what does that look like?
I mean, I don't know if protests are still going on, but during the height of the George Floyd Black Lives Matter movement, there were, like everywhere else, protests, and I did participate in them myself. And it was an interesting experience on so many levels. Like, I think the last day of the protests, you can tell that there were instigators, right? That were there to kind of ignite. I mean, I just felt like I was a target, like I had a target on my back. Like there was these group of men who had like their faces covered and had these hats where you just could see little bits of their eyes. And they kept on, you know, making eye contact, and I would like move within the crowd, but then they would seek me out and just make eye contact. And then there was also people that were just being agitators within the audience. And pushing people around. But it was, for the first time in my life, I actually felt protected by white folks, because like the leader of the protest was like, because the energy was high, and we all knew there were people there trying to cause a fight and trying to make something happen on the last day, particularly. Yeah. And so she was like, yo, white people step up. And it was like a sea of white people just went right in front of me. And I was like, what is this? What, you know, and not just myself, but every Black person that was around near me, and was kind of a force. Like a shield, became a shield just in case anything popped up and happened. And so that was like the first time that I was maybe visible or felt visible or seen. But I mean, it's interesting being here in the South during this time, because it's still the South.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I got to feel for you. You know, I mean, I couldn't. The South scares me. The South scares me for a lot of reasons.
It's more subtle, right? Like we do have instances where it's in your face.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah.
And it is. I mean, there are a lot of instances. It's not, you know, a couple. There are instances here in Arizona where it is directly in your face, but a lot of it is more subtle, right? But in the South, it seems like it would be more aggressive. It seems like it would be more in your face. Now, I've never been to the South. I've never traveled there. But just hearing stories, right? Yeah. So is that accurate to say? Is it subtle there, or is it more aggressive being a Black woman just to walk around? Like, do you hear very aggressive things on a daily basis, or is it more subtle in nature?
You know, I mean, I think as a Black person, you know, because growing up, I was always asked the question, oh, what is it like to be Black? And this was obviously from white people. And so like my answer is, to answer your question, I mean, I experienced racism anywhere. Like I remember being in Santa Monica and having like just being at a red light and having people shout out from their car, you fucking nigger. Yeah. This is Santa Monica, California.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it.
The way that I was born was from a hate crime. And so like, I mean, I think I just have become a little bit desensitized. I don't think, to be quite honest, that
let's talk about it, baby.
That it's more racist in the South than in the West and in the North. I find racism wherever I go. It's just a matter of, like you guys were saying, how outright people are with it.
Courage. People have courage to have racism. And actually what's interesting is that, okay, so this is where the tonight's theme and kind of idea came from, is because I got banned from Facebook, right? And Facebook is very interesting about how.
What? You got banned from Facebook?
Oh, honey, like they put you on these, like, they put you in jail.
They put you in the corner.
They put baby in the corner.
Okay? Time out.
They put baby in the corner, but that's okay because I'm working on building up our YouTube channel. So the thing about it is that
you're gonna make a Black Facebook.
You know, and then, well, they've tried that, and but you know, that's a whole other show on Black Facebook. Anyway, so the thing about it is that so I started using Instagram more, right? And my word, the courage of racism in America is loud and proud on Instagram, and I'm so happy that you bring up the desensitizing, right? Because I started posting memes on our Call in America Instagram account, which if you aren't following, please follow us. And what's interesting is that I started to get more engagement. I was like, okay, I've been on Facebook. Facebook is kind of a dead medium, right? It's really, honestly, I use it to promote business, and I do Facebook work for our clients. But Instagram is still kind of like a pop medium because you can get engagement from people who you don't know. And that's honestly what helps build our show. It helps get our word out there. So we've been on Instagram a lot. I put in a huge focus on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I post things that I would post on Facebook that don't get the comments that they do on Instagram. I've been called a nigger 4 times in the last 24 hours. And it's interesting.
I dare you to say it to my face.
They've been invited to call on the show. And I'm about to go live. I'm about to go live on the phone lines. Actually, I'm gonna do it now. And I'm concerned. You know, here's the thing: is that again, people, we're about to go. The phone lines are about to be open, and we want you to call in if you got something to say. If you got something to speak on, understand that Call in America is a place for everybody. If you call in with
it is a safe place.
It's a safe space for discussion. If you call in and want to act out, understand that your number's in our caller ID. So it doesn't. So it's on you. Okay, it's on you. If you want to have a respectful conversation, we will respect your privacy. But if you don't, baby, let's get it on. Okay, because I'm now advertising on Instagram, and there is a lot of hate on Instagram. So that being said, phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a call 585-502-7922. We want to hear from you.
Wait, what was that number one more time?
585-502-7922. Call me now.
Call me now.
Call me now.
Call me now.
That's the whole basis of this show. It started out as a shout out to Miss Cleo from the Psycho Hotline. Call me now. So give us a call, guys. Weigh in on tonight's topics. I do want to get in. So the courage of racism in America is bold, right? And so Biden had a live show today, and the show he was in Kenosha, where one of the most recent shootings was, and what he was talking about was that this has always existed, and you and I discussed that today in our briefing earlier today, and racism has always existed in America. Here's the thing, though. Is that let me turn up the call? Is that what Trump has done? And now, listen, I'm not. I am an independent Black voter. Okay, I'm not a Democrat, nor am I a Republican. So understand that when I'm talking, I don't have an agenda. I'm speaking what's happening here. Okay, now Trump. What Biden said today was that Trump I was going to look this up before I got on the show tonight. But what he did is he made hate okay. He brought courage back to having hate, and so people now they just speak openly. I mean, they say the N-word like it's a hello, and they mean it horribly. You know what I mean? And it's interesting because it loses its power. I feel like when it's so just like
normalized.
It's so normalized now. It's just like, is that all you got? Is that all you got? You know what I'm saying? Like that is that supposed to offend me? You know what you thought?
If I may interject, I think we talked about this before. I don't know if courage is back with hate. I think it's always been here.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are waking up to the fact that we have been living with it and have been desensitized and been forced to just walk with the traumas and walk with the bullshit on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we are also to a point too where we are fed up with it and we're no longer safe spaces and allowing it to happen. So I don't know. I think, to be quite honest, listen, I've been called nigger growing up. I mean, I punched, a bully. I mean, he would call me a nigger every day in 7th grade. I did grow up in Florida. This was in Florida in the South, and he had a locker next to me every day. He would be moved, nigger, nigger, nigger this. He would draw pictures of the Ku Klux Klan hanging Black people and pass it to me as notes. Like every day he found new ways to try to traumatize me and bully me and demean me. And, and so until one day I was just like, what'd you say? Boom. But all that said is to say that I've been living with it my entire life. And so have most Black people, brown people, people of color, but specifically Black people, I think, because we get it from everyone.
Everyone,
and including our own selves within our own community, which is a whole other.
And I'm so glad you brought that up. But here's what I do want to say about that. For the white people out there watching this show, please understand that's not your business. Okay, Black people, the colorism. Okay, let's call it what it is. The colorism that happens in Black America is none of your damn business. It's none of your damn business.
There's plenty of other white people to focus on.
Thank you. Focus on your own stuff. White people need to focus on their own racism, and to fix that. Black people, we are working on us, and it's none of your business what we are doing or what we have done to each other in the past. Understand that stems from slavery. Okay, we didn't choose slavery. We were forced into slavery. And the light skins, okay, what were those? Those people were in the house doing chores and shit, and the dark skinned people were out there picking cotton. That was a choice made by slave owners to divide Black people. Okay, and to create weakness in the Black community, because if we hate each other, we are less than. Okay, and so but that's none of your business. What is your business is fixing the harm that all that caused, right? And that starts within white people. So I'm happy that you brought that up, because Black people need to speak about that too. And this show is about all that's happening in America. And one thing that is happening in America is Black people, we are loving ourselves. And I do want to shout out Black people. And I want to say that Black people, we are loving ourselves, and we are starting to hold ourselves accountable, and we're starting to love each other. And I think that's what's truly important in America for Black people.
Yeah. I would agree. So I would argue that question, and to the people that are calling in, like, I mean, I just feel like
phone lines are open, guys. Give us a call.
Yes.
585-502-7922. We want to hear from you. I'd love to bring my other caller on, but I don't think her camera is working. So let's get into. Did you have a chance to? I know so it's black murder porn. What's happening out there, right? And I don't like to watch these videos because we just see too many of them. We know what happens. Does a black person die? Good. We don't need to know any of the details, right? It is at the hands of police brutality. I think that people who believe that police brutality is not a thing and want to provide you with statistics and all that jazz, it doesn't matter. Does not matter. It does not matter what the statistics are. If more white people are dying than black people, or it's the same, why aren't you mad? Why is it okay for police to kill anybody unjustly or without due process? And so we have 2 more black men that have died. One in Los Angeles, and this guy was biking. He was pulled over for a biking violation in 2020. Okay, if you ask me, this is my personal opinion, not the opinion of the show. This man was targeted. This is target. This is a target practice. Okay. Why are you pulling over a black man in 2020 with everything that's going on who's on a bicycle for a biking violation? And to this day, they still haven't disclosed what the actual biking violations are. What are your thoughts on that, Sacha? Oh, we got our first call. We got a call though. Welcome to Call in America. This is Kelvin, Taylor, and Sacha. Who's calling and where you calling from? Caller? Shay! Oh my goodness! Oh, hold on, let me get you turned up. All right, who's calling? Where you calling from, caller?
Oh, Shay from Phoenix.
Hi, Shay from Phoenix. How are you doing, my friend?
How you? Oh, doing wonderful. Miss Rona be treating me nice.
All right, I'm in love with it. I love it. What is your question or comment, my friend? Floor is yours.
So I guess my comment has to be that I think as racist, and racism has kind of like changed and grown a new face in America. I think the way you combat it also needs to change. And I think the basic way that anyone can really do is kind of just talk to people where they're at.
Okay.
And so I kind of want to I want to kind of get your opinion on talking to people where they're at and to how do we start building connections with people who don't think the same way?
Thank you so much for the call, caller. We're going to digress that now. Thank you,
Shay.
I mean, I had a roommate when Trump was elected. He voted for Trump. And after avoiding my house for 3 days, I was like, okay, well, we clearly have to talk because I don't know how I'm going to share the same space with you after putting this man into power. And so we had a conversation, like a real, and I'm going to be real. And it's
be
not
real, baby.
Cockiness
be
or
real.
like any ego. I wasn't shocked by most of the things that he was saying. He was, from the Midwest.
Yep.
He was white, grew up mostly around white people. I think maybe I was like a handful of like black people he had experience in his life, so what he knew about blackness and black people, black culture, and his politics was heavily influenced on just the white experience.
Yeah.
And I think as people of color, we're taught to not only be mindful and aware of our experiences, right? But also whiteness and how to make white people comfortable and be aware of, we're taught to have dual consciousness, dualities, etc. Right?
Oh boy, yeah.
And so, I mean, we had a real conversation, and most of the things that he said, I was not surprised by. So it was a matter of me breaking it down, which I don't know, honestly, if that really is up to us. There were some things that I felt like I had to break down like a 2-year-old as if I was teaching a toddler.
Whoa, boy. Come on
and
now.
I don't think that's our responsibility, especially in this day and age. But with that said, I do think that you can have a conversation with someone on opposite sides. If they're willing, 2 parties have to be willing to listen. They have to understand that you're going to say some things that
I'm not going to agree with.
And I may not like you. But there's a bigger picture, you know.
I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's possible because it's happened.
Yeah. Was the conversation like, was it a cordial, calm conversation, or did it get angst up? Like, what was the?
I would say for the most part, it was a cordial conversation. I mean, I think there were moments where we both might have been like, you know, but just I think there was a common respect and that common ground was respect respect for our two different walks of life and ideologies, etc.
You know what? I do apologize. I want to bring another Black woman onto the show right now. I want to hear some perspective. You know, I want to give Black women a chance to speak their goddamn truth. And we've got another powerful Black woman coming to the show, ladies and gentlemen. And her name is Miss Tamara Janae Smith. How you doing, beautiful? Oh, can't you hear us? Miss Tammy Smith.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you. How you doing, gorgeous?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much, Taylor and Kelvin, and just for having me a part of this community tonight. I appreciate it.
We welcome you to the show, love. So so what I want you to do right now is the question that was presented by one of our callers was, you know, how do we come together in today's world? And, you know, with all of our difference, what is it that we can do as a society to come together with our opposing views? The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we could perhaps consider collectively within this community tonight and in the world is the significance of conditioning to think better. And I say that because racism ultimately starts in the mind, right? Not all of us same, or not all of us even come from different, you know, the same type of communities, but it starts within the mind. And I think that the primary thing that we should consider is conditioning the mind and through connecting with other communities. Connecting with other communities enrich our thinking and collectively uniting groups together so that way we can all understand each other's stories and ultimately connect. I think that there's been a lot of efforts done already within education, within social movements such as Black Lives Matter, but that still isn't enough in terms of conditioning the mind. And when we really think, I hope you guys can see me, I'm trying to position this camera. When we really think about the psychology of hate in the United States of America, you know, we have to consider our leaders. We have to consider what has been within the mind of our leaders that helped to find this country, which is ultimately it's been a separatism idea. If you keep people separated for the sake of power, you'll have this place called the United States of America in which we live. When we look at the history of the United States of America and in terms of its history of separatism, we can kind of begin to understand how this courage of hate and this courage to hate, how it came to being. We have to look at the mind. We have to look at these individuals who are making decisions in high places, and even those individuals who have made the decision to write institution. I mean, all kinds of things. You're dealing with reasoning, and until we change reasoning, you know, when you change reasoning, that's when racism is going to change. That's when there's going to be the ushering in of a new day, a new dawn, if you will. And I think that's a good place to start.
I think that's very, very powerful. When I listen to both you and Sacha, I think of social acceptance. I think of social acceptance, and I think and Sacha, I do agree with you in that, you know, that the courage of hate has always been there, and I do believe that people have always had that hate. I think it's gotten louder, and that's just my personal opinion. I think the hate has gotten louder and it's gotten bolder. right? And it's gotten a little bit more subtle too, which oftentimes is louder. You know, when there's subtle hate that they can just kind of get away with, and everyone socially accepts that, it's more accepted, you know, and so it has more power. And so subtle racism, in my opinion, it's what happens. You know, I live in a gentrified neighborhood. We live in a gentrified neighborhood, and we own property in a gentrified neighborhood. And what's interesting about it is that they have these message boards, and they are so filled with subtle references or behaviors that are just completely racist. You know what I mean? Like the way that they'll call in. We saw a black person with a backpack. I called it in. Why? We're not a gated community. We're actually in the heart of downtown.
There's a park.
There's 2 parks here. All right, we have public schools here. We're next to a hospital.
2 schools.
It's like, why are you posting this on the message board?
And it could be Mexicans, but they never say like I saw a white man.
And never a white man. Never. I saw a white man with I saw 3 black kids doing this. Or let's say something did happen, right? Let's say it's like, because we have a lot of different things that go on. And one post that I'll never forget was somebody left their golf cart out, because we have golf carts here. It's a gentrified neighborhood in Arizona. Welcome to it. They have the golf carts, right? And they have the keys in the golf cart, and it was easily accessible. And what happened is there was some teenagers that got a hold of the golf cart, and they were doing donuts, and they were, you know, what's that called when a teenager steals a car and like, is it called joyriding?
Yeah.
So 3 teenagers, being teenagers, I'm not condoning the crime, right? I'm not condoning the petty crime, but how it was reported on the message board was 3 black teens took this cart, and we called it in. Here's the reality.
Here's another way of saying if they were white. 3 white people had fun tonight.
Yeah. 3 white kids were found joyriding a golf cart. They had fun, right? But when it's the black teens, 3 black teens were recognized doing that. Here's the reality. What actually happened is that the owner left a cart out for people to take it living in downtown. That's the first mistake, right? You live in a neighborhood that just because you raise the property value does not mean that the people have gone away. You have dispersed them, but this is still a public. I mean, this is downtown Phoenix. You know what I mean? And so people live here. There are homeless people that live here. There are young youth that walk through here. You know, and
what's crazy is that during the quarantine, I started running, and I run by the park every day, and there's always this one woman. She's homeless, and she sits in the same spot every day, and that's like her spot.
Oh, yes.
And you know what?
Yes.
I see people walking by her. Some people are like talking to her, you know, having conversations. They're not saying anything of like, well, you got to get out of here, lady. Like, what, you live here? You live on the park? This is my property.
She lives here. As far as I'm concerned, she lives here.
I see her every time. Like,
don't bother
not at any time of day.
Don't bother me.
That's where she lives now. It doesn't bother me. But the point is that there's people a black person just walks through the neighborhood, and it's all over the message board with pictures.
Boom. There's your point.
And you got a white woman that's living there.
Yeah.
And they're giving her high fives, you know?
So, you know, so subtle racism is very powerful. It's very, very powerful. And so, you know, it's very interesting, and it leads to things like these deaths that have happened. And so I do want to move on to the next one, because this one's really heartbreaking to me. And it's of the mentally ill man who was having an episode. And I apologize if that is not the right word for he was just having a mental kind of breakdown. You know what I mean? And he was visiting his family. He was on vacation, visiting his family. Had something go down mentally for him. Cops were called, and this man is outside, and I saw the video, and at first he complies the entire time. They say get on the ground. The man gets on the ground, and he is laying there naked with his hands handcuffed behind his back. You know, it just hurts. It hurts even telling this, just even describing it. It's just painful. And then they put a spit guard over the man. They put a spit guard over the man, which
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't know it was a thing. Apparently, it's a thing that happened and is normal, right? Bullshit, I think. But anyway, puts a spit guard on this man, and then because the man who is having an episode, right? He's talking. He's probably saying things fuck the police. I don't know what the hell he's saying, but because of their egos, this man is no threat, no danger to anybody. He's just speaking. Because of their egos, they force his head to the cement and they hold it down. And the man, and you hear the man, it makes you want to start crying. Actually, you hear the man say, "Y'all trying to kill me." What I really hate is this. And what I really hate is this, because this is what happened to Jacob Blake, and this is what first happened to this man, who the video shows what really happened. He was then brain dead. He went silent, and you hear the cops saying, "You all right, man?" The man is vomiting water. Okay, and they're like, "You all right? You all right?" Like as if. No, he's not all right. You just had all of your body weight on this man for freaking 3 minutes. The man's how would he ever be all right? And so the man is in a coma, brain dead for 7 days. 7 days.
Well, they got the perspective of his brother too at the house. And as they're pulling him outside, they tell the brother to stay inside, and he's saying, "Do not kill my brother. Do not come out."
They killed this man.
11 minutes later, he comes back and says, "Your brother's dead."
They took this man. He was brain dead for 7 days. 7 days on life support, and they finally took him off life support. The man died, and I think of Jacob Blake, who is now paralyzed. Right? Jacob Blake was breaking up a fight, and then he was shot 7 times in the back, in front of his children and his wife. 3 kids.
Is he still handcuffed to a?
And he's handcuffed to a freaking
police bed or
hospital bed. You know. Ladies, weigh in. What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? Speak your truth. Yeah.
I mean, it's still. I mean, this is still the plantation.
Oh boy.
United States of America is still a plantation. Anytime that you still see individuals in society in a part of social institutions, such as our police system. That is truly another form of Jim Crow and another form of systematic oppression. I mean, I'm not surprised, because this little place we call the United States of America, which is we're behind socially because of racism. It doesn't surprise me.
Oh boy.
It doesn't
Wow.
surprise me.
Wow.
Why this is where we are. It doesn't seem to appear to want to get better. And again, it starts in the mind. It starts in the mind. What would make a person put their body weight on someone?
What would do that?
That way they can have power. That's their mentality.
That is their mentality.
It's like their go-to tactic. It's their training too.
You are trying to silence. You are trying so hard to silence this voice. You've taken his ability to do anything. He can't harm you, but his voice has that much power that you go above and beyond to silence it. Sacha, weigh in. What are your thoughts, baby?
I mean, I want to say yes and to Tammy, to Kelvin, to Taylor. I mean, it's just. I think, this country, I don't know if it will get better. I really don't. I do not know. I think part of the conversations that I've been having with people is that I wonder if, and it's not just Black folks, because we, before this whole wokeness, quote unquote, happened.
Come on now.
In America, I would ask my white friends, I would really ask them and say, when I'm not here, because whenever I was in the space, for some reason, we were talking about race. So,
oh boy,
when I'm not here, are you having these conversations when it's just all of you white people gathered in one room? And the answer was always no.
No.
And so with that, I've been a part of, I'm in the theater world. And so I've been a part of these theater conversations out here of anti-racism, meetings, and it fell apart. And one of the things, that I was worried about in the very beginning was, I don't think white people by white people, I mean community at large, understand the amount of work that needs to be done to erase completely, have an erasure of this from this system. Because it is you have to treat it like you have AA. Hi. My name is so-and-so, and I'm a racist. It's not to be you're evil. It is a disease. It is a sick disease, and it's going to It's not going to be 5 days, 10 years, 20 years. It's probably going to be 100.
It's your lifetime. It's you have to do it in your lifetime.
Yes, and we have to start passing it down from generation to generation.
Yes,
this is not a social media post. This is not conversation that they may listen, on your show right now. This is an everyday. You have to put this in your consciousness and really work at it. So when you are faced with similar situations, you start after maybe the 50th time, your brain goes, wait, I cannot respond in this manner. Oh, there's something wrong. You have to snap out of it. And so America, and one of the things, when I was younger, I used to travel. And one of the things, particularly in Brazil is very fucked up in this racism. But the thing that's very different about Brazil is that for me, my experience was they talked about slavery. They talked about their racism. They knew they had an issue.
Come on now.
15 years ago. And what shook me was I thought, wow, I would never have these conversations with white people in America without being called the issue, without being seen as the angry Black woman, without being, oh, are you sure that happened? That's just near man. Without sweeping it under the rug.
Well, I'm not racist, right? I'm not racist. I didn't do that. My ancestors didn't own slaves. Who cares? You're white in America. You benefited from racism, and you benefit today
Black people have genetic trauma. If you are white in this
generational,
you have generational racist shit that has been passed down to you subconsciously, and it's not to be like you're evil and I'm putting it all on you.
But you got to recognize.
But you have to recognize the issue in order that there's a problem in order to fix the problem.
Yeah.
And I honestly do not know, because just the simple fact for this theater group of anti-racism shit that I've been a part of, for a simple Black woman to ask, it wasn't me, but somebody else was like, how? Because the groups got separated with white folks and then Black people. And then so the Black woman was like, well, how did this happen? Can someone just explain it to me? And then all these white people got so upset. Well, I'm so tired of being accused, XYZ. And then it literally fell apart from April to what month are we in now? September. All those months of work fell apart because white people got tired of being called evil or having the finger pointed at them. They're not racist. They're not part of the problem. And so I really want, and that was the thing I was afraid of during this wave of quote unquote consciousness that shook America and the world. Are they going to do the work? And do they, by they, I mean the white community at large, realize the amount of effort that is needed to shake this disease out of its system? And I honestly don't know.
So, I just, first I want to do this. Boop. Thanks, Mom. That's my baby. Put your name now because I don't want nobody harassing you. So, Mom, don't accept any friend requests or do any messages, please. And then because then we got this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and give him this. So this is what fear looks like. This is what fear looks like. This is what insecurity looks like. This is what keyboard warriors do. And Brandon Branson, thank you so much. Oh, you're on Periscope. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you for watching from Periscope. Oh, shit. We got a comment from Periscope. Hey-oh. That's awesome. Thanks, Brandon. I'm in love with that. That's just, what you're doing, Brandon, is you're showing me that our show is growing and we have more viewers. And I'm proud of you tonight. But here's the reality. So you deal with a lot of keyboard warriors, right? There is a lot of, our camera went out. I'm gonna go ahead and boop.
Bravery behind a computer.
There's a lot of bravery behind keyboards. You know what I mean? There's a lot of it. And so I want to do this one too. Boom. Let's see if you can know who that is, Sacha.
Medea's sister, Angela.
That is Miss Bonache. We got New York. We got New York too. We got everybody, man. We are nationwide tonight. So your voice is traveling, and I'm proud of you, Tammy. I don't know what happened to your camera, but so the reality is that there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, right? And so. And I just want to say this as a disclaimer, and I think I'm going to continue to put this out there, is that I stopped arguing with with trolls on Facebook and whatnot because they don't have the balls to call in. We started doing this show and started getting real about the different topics, and I would get, people get into these arguments and say all this stuff on Facebook and whatnot. And I say, you know what? We have a show. Call in. I'm not going to waste my energy. I'm not going to waste content. First of all, we're content creators. If you want to speak your truth about being anti-Black, call in. You know what I mean? It doesn't scare me. Like your view and your opinion of hate towards me doesn't scare me. Go ahead.
Yeah, living as a a Black person, let me tell you, I was born because a bunch of racist white men punched my mother in the stomach when she was pregnant with myself and my twin sister with baseball bats. Okay, I entered this world from hate from the white community. Okay, so the blah blah blahs, and I'm open to have a conversation. I'm a Black woman in 2020. Okay, there's people, we are the most marginalized, unheard, invisible voice, and purposely so. So there's not, I mean, it's not even like my time, the blah, blah, blah. That's not even like, there's nothing. I say that doesn't scare me.
It's so simple.
For what I have to face on a
simple.
daily basis, a conversation does not scare me, or someone calling me a nigger. You know how many times I've been called a nigger?
I was called 4 times in 24 hours, and honestly, I just made memes out of it. You provide content for me, so continue with those comments. Honestly, I see it on Facebook, and I hope that it does. I hope that the comments don't trigger our other followers that are on Instagram and whatnot that are viewing those comments. I'm not deleting them. And I'm honestly not blocking these people because, unless they start fighting with like our viewers and stuff like that, I think I'll block them. But if they're calling me a nigger, go for it. Live your life. Have fun. Keep commenting though. Tell your friends to comment because it just helps us out in the algorithm. It gives us more. It gives us more reach, and that's exactly what we want. And honestly, and what I started doing was I started hashtagging the hashtags that we are not about. I started hashtagging White Lives Matter. I want to get in their space and invite them to weigh in. What's happening is that they don't have the behind closed doors. You have the courage to be as racist as hell. The one meme that I made today, you guys can find it on our Call in America Instagram, is from this one person who just loves the N-word. It's like he gets off on it, and I made a meme about him, and he's going back and forth, and he even says himself, "This is my racist account." He's this big guy in some place like that. None of his real stuff is
racist account.
It's his racist account.
Like, yeah, you have an email for your junk mail
or your porn or whatever. So I was just like, okay, listen.
What I love about that moment is like Taylor's like, wait, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. Like, I'll be desensitized.
Exactly.
I'm listening to you guys going through this and like how normalized it is for you, but honestly,
it is.
He had got through his whole day. I'm sitting here working, and then I'm jumping on my phone to get prepped for the show, and that's the first thing that pops up, and I'm like, what the? And I'm like, where's this guy? Who's this guy? Like, let's go talk to him. Like, I got something to say, right? Like, he's like,
I'm like, this started 2 days ago, but you late.
It's like 1 of 4 today.
Like, this guy's been commenting on several of my posts, which I love. Please keep commenting your hate, please. Because it helps us out. It gets our show out there. You know what I mean? And if you got the balls, call in. Call me now. 585-522-7922. Let's get another caller. Sacha is from New Orleans.
Sacha, I
miss
you.
I'm not from New Orleans. I miss you too, Taylor.
You should come back. Visit for Phoenix.
Oh, I guess Modelo is our brand tonight. We drinking Modelos. What you drinking on tonight, Sacha?
Are they your sponsor? I will come to Phoenix.
You should. We loved you. You were honestly such a great. You just were a great house guest. Oh, look at you, see? How dare you spill on Obama?
Right.
Obama.
Okay, let's switch it up, baby. We are at 7:50. We're coming to the end of our show. You love some Chadwick.
Yes. Chadwick Boseman. I'll help you out, boo-boo.
I looked at him because I said his last name wrong to you, and she called me out earlier, and I'm saying his first name wrong. Listen, there's just a lot of Black people in the media today. Okay, so I'm mixing them up.
Say we all look alike?
Next time. Okay, so love. Talk about Chadwick Boss. Oh my God.
Boseman, boo-boo.
Boseman. I keep wanting to say Bosnick. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that. You know what I mean? And so tell us about him. You did like a thing with him and whatnot. And I want to
with him. You've met him before.
I don't know where we're going.
Speak your truth.
Tell us how you met Chadwick Boseman.
No, I did not do anything with Chadwick Boseman.
You heard it here, folks, live on Call in America.
First of all, Kelvin. No, I've just been I mean, like so many people, I've just been a big fan, and it really hit me hard because when Black Panther, I think, Kelvin, what you're referring to is when Black Panther came out. I think I saw it like 8 times in the theater, but I also did a energize myself and another girlfriend of mine out in California, and we started to hold these community talks and discussions. You know, essentially it transforms into how can we create within our own communities a Wakanda for ourselves, you know, real life Wakanda. And so, you know, I mean, I'm going to say this because I'm wearing my Obama shirt. When I had no qualms, and this was before being Black in white spaces was cool, you know, people would say, oh, are you voting for Obama because he's Black? And I would be like, yes. Yes, I am, because I know what he represents to the children coming up, to the generations behind me. And so Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman, the way that he carried himself, the films that he intentionally, you know, chose to, or characters he chose to represent and play, he knew and was very conscious and aware of what it represented for young up and coming actors or young children and generations behind him. And that's the same way I felt about Black Panther and him as an actor and as a human being, as an individual. And so when he passed away, I really felt like, particularly within the Black community, we lost a light. I think humanity lost a light, you know, but I think for me, I'm going to say I felt like we lost our king, and I've been mourning all week.
Yeah,
you know, because
that's sad. That's really, that's some true stuff. That's some real shit. That's some real shit. Taylor, what are your thoughts, man?
No, I think it's, you know, I can't have the same experience as Sachi, but I do agree with the way that he was, the way that people idolized him, right?
Yeah.
And I know, like, it was, you know, being married to a Black man, I've learned a lot, right? And I've started to understand how much there aren't Black people in movies, right? And if they are, they're always like the first person to die. Or
can I speak on that real quick?
Character that's always like, hey,
can I speak on that real quick?
Yeah. Well, let me finish my thought.
Finish your thought, but I want to speak to that specifically because I kind of feel bad for Taylor sometimes. But go ahead.
Yeah, so, but I mean, we watch a lot of those the Avenger movies. We watch a lot of even like cartoons or whatever, right? And that was one of the first ones where, you know, Kelvin got the same way as you know what you're describing. Sacha. Like it was exciting to see his culture represented in a film, and not just one person as the leading star, but the entire cast,
everybody.
You know,
it was. Oh man, sorry.
Black women, dark skinned Black.
Come
women.
on,
yeah, the one that's like the badass fighter.
And beautiful and,
what's the one with the badass fighter with the stick?
Oh, that was the sister, right? That was a sister.
No, she was not the sister. The sister was the little girl. Not the little girl. The one, she was bald.
Yeah, bald.
Yeah, and she had the stick.
You're right.
And she was the fighter.
Denied.
She was that badass girl.
That was my favorite.
You guys are so funny. I love you so much.
I mean, listen, I barely know my own damn birthday. Okay, I'm not gonna remember your damn name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. So relax.
But it was a phenomenal movie, and then wasn't it like the highest out of all the Avengers?
It was the number one. Grossing. But that is not news, and I think that is very, very important. So, two things I want to say. First of all, I feel bad for my baby because he likes a lot of movies. He likes a lot of movies, and he loves watching. And I like a lot of movies too. Until I had my, and it's for every Black person, it's called your nigga wake up moment. Is when you realize that you are Black in America, and it's a very real thing. Look it up. It happens to every Black person, and they realize, oh shit, I'm actually Black. Like, and that means something. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean other things. You know what I mean? And so once I realized that, it's a rabbit hole that you cannot get out of, and it's not even a rabbit hole. It's just life that you cannot unsee. Like you see it, right?
Pull away from it.
You can't get away from it because it's everywhere, right? Your anti-Blackness is everywhere, and in movies especially, it's everywhere. And so okay. And so then you start to notice it. And so one of the places I noticed it was in movies. And I was immediately turned off. And you know who said it best was actually, and I really don't even think he's that great of a director, but I'll support him every single time. And that is the guy, he did Us. Was it Us?
Yeah, Get Out and
Get Out. Yeah, Get Out. Yeah. What's his name?
Jordan Peele.
So you know,
I can't wait when you guys are old.
Oh God, we ain't gonna know nobody. I'm like, who am I married to? But
use your brain.
Use Use your brain. Oh, Jan West, I love her. But anyway, so he said it best. He says in his movies he refuses and will not ever cast a white lead or any for any of his movies because we have seen that movie and we're over it. And I just was like, you're right. We know what happens. The white guy the white narrative is awesome, great. I don't care. I know what happens. You succeed. We get it. You fall in love. You are the winner at the end of the day. What's that?
I guess I got another story to tell after this.
Hold on. Let me get back to it. So for him, I don't. We don't. If there's not like a black like lead, or like even in the writing staff, like if there's not like writers or like voice actors like that, I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm tired of patronizing these films that are anti-black. If you don't, go ahead.
Sorry, I tell you one story.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. You're the guest. Go.
It's important that we're seeing a lot of diversity in Hollywood. I think there's a difference between, and on my YouTube channel, I will plug, I do have a skit about diversity versus representation. But I think it's also very important because I think there's a big difference in Hollywood, and Hollywood needs to wake up to that. I think that's the next level of accurate representation. It's not just about putting diversity, because, for example, I also work as a coach, and long story short, on a TV show I probably cannot name, but it's on Netflix. There is a Haitian character, and I had a lot of backlash because the studio had hired this white male who's a professor and was linguistics and French and Haitian Creole, as opposed to this Haitian woman that speaks the language.
Haitian damn black woman. The hell?
And so there were a lot of things that was just made up. That was like not true, and I literally had to ask almost every generation of Haitian person that I knew
to confirm.
Nobody knew where it came from.
Right. You had to do the work. That's crazy.
Because this white man who had a degree, I'm like, I have a degree as well. I have a master's as well.
You're Haitian,
and I'm Haitian, but I could.
What degree do you need?
But you also need a degree if you're black. So like,
baby, you need a master's if you're black. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which I have. Me being Haitian was not even enough, and so I'm gonna be real. That character was not authentically represented.
Of course.
And I think what Hollywood needs, and you have all these. It is so important if you're gonna represent, and particularly with black accents and black culture, because what I try to tell actors and people, also casting directors, that. If an actor walks in a room and the person is British, but you want us to, and I walked in an Irish accent, you're going to look at me as crazy and disrespectful or doing things that are of the Irish culture. You know what I mean? Like, the same thing holds true for black culture. We are not monolithic, and just putting us in front of the camera is not enough.
Here's what I want to say, and then we're done. We did the show. We are done with the show. Here's what I want to say though. I want to challenge you. You're gonna tell your story. Maybe I'm gonna give you time. What I want to challenge you though is that it's not Hollywood that needs to change, right? This idea of cancel culture, and people have their views on it. And I think we're gonna do a show about cancel culture coming up here. And the reality is that Hollywood doesn't need to change. The consumer needs to change, right? Hollywood is only a machine that is fed by us, okay? And so if we are
about like supply and demand,
it's supply and demand, baby. If we demand black actors, black leads, black writers, if we say we're not watching that film unless there is diversity and inclusion in that film, Hollywood will have to listen. So as much as we want to make these institutions or these organizations change, they're not going to change unless we change, right? Because they're going to do what works for them, and what works for them is just doing what they have been doing. What's going to change, and what's happening in America right now, is that the consumer base, right? White people, for one, as far as racism is concerned, and as far as I'm concerned, white people are getting sick and tired of white people's shit. That's when racism started to see a change. And I'm going to give 2020 a shout. Okay, racism has been like we're at the door, right? We're at the door. We have not been this close to like really putting it into understanding what needs to be done as we've in the entire history of America. And I'm going to say that as a personal opinion. we're there because you have a lot of white people. Some of y'all are getting out of control, right? Some of y'all doing too much. Y'all want to put flags up on shit. You want to change the names of streets and paint things and stuff like that. That's not what we're asking for. We're asking for justice for unjust death. But you're getting there. You're getting emotional, and that's fine. But we need to rear it back and focus on what we're actually asking for. But we've arrived. We've never had this much engagement in regards to being Black in America from people that are not Black. So I do want to shout out that. But we have to change as a society and stop supporting these institutions that don't that are anti-Black. And I think that is on us as a society. Sacha, where can we find you?
I'm not on social media currently.
Louisiana.
You gave such a smirk to that. I felt bad for you. You're like, Meh.
No, I'm actually quite happy with that decision of not being on social media. But I don't know if maybe I'll call into your show next time.
You're gonna be. I think this is a good platform for you. And you know what's crazy is that. So this is what I want you to get ready for. Is that we got the debates coming up. We got the elections coming up, baby, and we go live every single Thursday, and we're gonna be talking about it. And sometimes we may just go spontaneous live after a debate or something like that. I want you on, so be prepared.
Okay.
We need to elevate Black women's voices. I've always said, so real quick, you did say something earlier about I think you said something about supporting Black women. You're voting for Biden? That's the only reason why I'm voting for Biden is because of Black women on the ticket.
Well,
I just wanted to say that.
If he didn't put a Black woman, I would have been like, you know what? I'm packing
done.
My bags. I'm out.
I'm
of
good.
This
I'm
country.
good. I'm good. I good.
He had to. I mean,
yeah.
Yes, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
but
it's a whole other conversation.
I am voting for Biden. Listen, like most people, I'm not that thrilled about it. But like my same reason for voting for Obama, I know. It's for the
vote for the damn Black woman. That's what I was saying. Because you said you voted for Black women because you're Black. Yes, I did. Any other questions? And I wanted to parrot that. Yes, I am.
But Obama was also qualified. Not to negate that he wasn't qualified. He was obviously qualified.
Listen,
but
Trump's not
my main
qualified.
reason was
Vote for him. Trump's not qualified. Trump's not qualified. Qualified. Y'all voted for him. I don't owe anybody an explanation about anything about my vote. Did you vote for him because he's Black? Yes. Yes. Can I help you with something else? Next time.
But I do want to say he was qualified. Like I remember, because I remember when, what was it? Not, oh God, what's his name? The Al Sharpton, was it? Not Al Sharpton. Yes, Al Sharpton when he ran. You know.
That's from my
mother.
I was
kind of like, I know he's Black, but he doesn't seem
qualified.
You know what I mean?
Another show, baby. Sacha, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. My mother says, good job, Sacha.
Oh, thank you, Lola, or Mrs. Harper.
Mrs. Harper's fine. Thank you, Sacha. This has been fantastic. We will look forward to having you on the show again, baby.
Bye, Sacha.
Thank you, guys. Sorry, Taylor. I want to hear your story.
That's going to be his final thought. So stay tuned. So you can keep watching on YouTube. I say baby to Sacha because Sacha is a very good friend of mine, and we've been friends. And she's actually my sister and my absolute. Baby, my absolute love of my life, and I just before Taylor, but
okay,
you are my Black sister from another mister, baby, and I'm in love with you.
I've known Kelvin since his Orange Hat days. I'm sure Kelvin has told you about that.
Sasha and I tried to get on what was it called?
Was it the Real World? I can't remember.
No. It was called What Not to Wear, and I'll never forget. South Street Seaport. Next to the Brooklyn Bridge, we switched clothes.
We did.
We switched. Don't tell me you have that picture.
I just took out a bunch of pictures. No, I don't have it right next to me. Damn it!
That's so funny. So we switched clothes, and I had my army hat. It was like an orange army hat.
I had my puff jacket.
And we looked, and I had an afro with a pick in it. Oh my God, that was Black. Whoa, okay. I was like Michael Jackson, old school Black.
I'm gonna try to find that picture and show it next time.
Please do. I love you, Sacha. Thank you for being on the show, baby.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, baby. Ow! Final thoughts, Dave.
That was a lot of fun.
What was your story?
So we were talking about, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Being and how Black Panther allowed Black people to feel represented in movies, right? And so I remember there was one night we were laying in bed and we're watching TV or whatever, and this trailer comes on, and it is for, I don't even think it was a movie. I think it was like a short film, which is like 10 minutes long or something like that. So, but it was produced by Disney, and it's about this big burly guy that's like running around his apartment like crazy, and he's trying to clean up, and he's got this little dog, and his little dog is obviously like his best friend, but kind of a troublemaker, and his parents are coming over. And as his parents are coming over, the dog pulls out this picture of this big burly man and his boyfriend, and it's like pulling it out to show the mom, or the mom finds it or something. And the movie's called Out. So it's about him coming out as a gay man, right? And so, cry. But it's a cartoon. And like, I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. Oh my God, I remember being that guy. I remember like going through that. And I remember having to like have those feelings. This is adorable. I want to see this. I want to see this. And I'm saying this out loud. And Kelvin just looks over and he's like, great. Yeah, no, it feels good to be represented in TV. Right. And I was like, yeah, wait a minute. What? Yeah. And so it was kind of like a aha moment, right? Like, oh, that's that feeling. Okay. Got it. Cool. Like,
representation matters. Mm-hmm. Representation matters. That always brought me to tears. You know, I just want to say there's actually a comment that came in, and I think I want to spend 5 minutes on it. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
I want to talk about this comment, and you know what? I'm going to open the phone lines because here's the thing: is that we're not, it is 8:07, and I think that it's I'm going to give this about 3 minutes, right? I'm going to give this about 3 minutes because I think this is it's an interesting comment. So, explain why transgender people demand acceptance yet they don't accept themselves as they were.
I mean, that question could mean many things. I'm not sure if I understand the specifics with that question.
I think what they're saying is that if a cis male is born male, why not accept them as themselves?
Well, I mean, I think
because that's not who they are.
My answer to that is that they did accept themselves as themselves, right? Like, so if they didn't, they would have stayed whatever gender that they were on the outside, right? But the fact that they have accepted themselves internally is what built them into the transgender. So
I have nothing else to say. I think that question has been answered. Thank you so much, Kulu. Coolio. I like that. Coolio. You're a new watcher. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that answers your question. We will answer questions, guys. And so I don't think we need to have anybody call in. Tay, you freaking nailed that. And I think that is going to be our show. What are your final thoughts on tonight's show?
It was a great show. I realized how much I miss Sachi. Tammy did a great job. Yeah. And it was great feeling, having both, first of all, women, but then black women on top of it.
Come on.
And it was a great conversation. I like hearing their perspectives, and I want more of that. I want more black women and more women in general on the show.
I think I do too.
When I think about it in the past, like, are they our first women on the show?
They are the first women to be on the show, and I wanted this week to be. I wanted this week to feature women. And honestly, I didn't. I actually chose 3 women. I chose Angela Bonacci, and I chose Sacha Grandois, and I chose Tammy Smith. These are 3 powerful women that have been in my life and who I respect and admire and have helped me in ways that these are old school women. These are before I moved to Phoenix. These are like, when I was discovering Kelvin Harper, before I even became Kelvin West, before I was discovering Kelvin Harper, these women helped shape Kelvin Harper. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing and just so Tammy I knew in high school. I knew Tammy in high school, and she, man, I can't even tell you. I do want to take a moment and just shout out the 3 women that I was going to bring on. Tammy I knew in high school, and she just we used to do the craziest things in high school, and she's the one who gave me confidence. She gave me confidence to be who I was, and she did that because Tammy and I, we caused a scene, but we were always just amazing together. We always support each other. And we're always there for each other. Sacha just was my immediate sister. Like I felt like Sacha and I we were kindred souls, and we were just always there for each other. We went through a lot of shit in New York, and like one of the things I love about Sacha, where her power comes from, I think, and I hope she doesn't kill me for telling this story, is that she lost her mother. She told a story about how her mother had her early, but but she lost her mother at an early age, and that was something that has always it's been a biggest fear of mine, is losing my mother. And here I have this Black woman who in college was just so strong and so powerful after dealing with something so at the time in my life, thinking like I couldn't imagine being as strong as you are right now. And so I just I love her. It makes me want to cry. But and then Angela's my fucking girl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have her on the show.
Angela's got to be on the show to get
She's gonna be on the show,
so
you guys are gonna see it. So that's my final thoughts for tonight.
Well, and here's another final thought. I hope the stories next week are a much different story, but we only bring up what's in the news.
What's in the news, guys? So if you want to be a guest host, let me know. I want differences of opinion. My name is Kelvin.
I'm Taylor,
and that is our show.